What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Frozen Road Podcast. I am your host, John Hunter, and this is my guy, Danny, the Pitchman Hart. What's going on, buddy?
What's up, brother? How you doing? Finally made it, but waiting a long time for opening day, and it's kind of surreal, but it's here.
I'm excited, dude. It's finally here, and we're finally get to talk about like live baseball, and we're talking about a 162 game season where there's people sitting in the stands.
Yep.
Like that's just something in its own right. Absolutely, it is. It's way different, and it's finally to the point where we're actually going to be like excited now. And there's no excuses. There's not going to be that bullshit like stigma with what happened last year with the 60 game season. Everyone's like, oh well, with the Dodgers and how the Dodgers were like won a shortened seasons, World Series, all that shit. Like I still think like it doesn't matter to me because no matter what. They won the World Series. Last year was what it was. It was shitty how it started, how it ended, everything like that. But we're here and we're back in the regular actual season. Spring training happened. It was just perfect. It was a perfect way to get into 2021 with this whole season. Yeah, so we were talking earlier, and I told you that I wanted to talk about our opening day memories, different stuff that from major leagues to little league to high school. Dan, what is one of your favorite high school memories of opening days?
If we're going to go little league, just you get that new glove, you go to Modell's or whatever with your family, you go pick something out that's probably really not going to help you too much, but it gives that little pep in your step. You can't wait to show it off to your friends and all. You maybe get a new bat. Then finally get to pull it out and use it in a real game. Like there's no better feeling than that. It's just
absolutely
a different ball game than practicing. Like the practice is great and all, but when you step in there and it's go time, the umpire says game on, like it's a whole different ball game.
No doubt, dude. It's like I just remember like we talked about this a little bit before we got on air, and how they're like the back in the day when you do like the opening days and you just start. I remember when I lived in Juniata, we would start at the Pep Boys, and then we'd walk all the way to Juniata Park, which felt like it was like the longest walk ever. But in reality, it was like a block, not even. But it was awesome. Like your whole team walked and all that type of shit. It was just like a cool thing. Like it was like a cool thing to be a part of for the whole neighborhood. Like and everyone's like sisters, brothers. Everyone got together. There was like a carnival pretty much at the field and all. I don't even remember playing in any of it. I don't even remember ever actually playing
either.
Yeah, those days, but
and everything like that, like the environment more than the actual games.
Absolutely, yeah, and I think that's what it really was awesome about it. Like there was you don't remember the game, you just remember the time there with everybody and hanging out with like your friends and stuff like that. Like it was just awesome. But when it comes to high school, that opening day was something else.
Yeah, I mean that gets a lot more serious. Yeah, I mean you got
absolutely
legit things going on and everything, and so
and your first high school baseball game. I'll always remember my first time I ever played in a game. I remember it was opening day for North Catholic in 2005. That would be. I was on JV, and Mr. Murph, God rest his soul, he wanted us to do. He kept trying to get people to do suicide squeezes, and it was miserable because I think 5 of us tried the suicide squeeze, and every one of us whiffed on it. It was fucking awful. It was awful. Like we thought, we were we all sat there oh yeah, it's gonna be great. Like we're gonna be awful. Awful. It wasn't even close. It was one of the most miserable experiences. But it was cool to be in wearing the Falcons uniform for the first time and feeling that how that felt was awesome. And that's one of those memories of an opening day that I'll never forget is wearing that uniform. And
I don't think I remember my first couple starts for North because I think it was my third or fourth start freshman year. I got smashed with a line drive and side of my head. I had a pretty bad concussion. And beginning of that season's a little blurry for me, but I should have thrown a curveball, or I should have thrown a fastball, not a curveball, I guess.
Yeah. Got fucking hammered.
Woke up a couple minutes later. It was fine. But
That's funny.
It wasn't too great. But
No,
like
never.
you said though, with the Little League, like you don't really remember the games necessarily, but you remember like the environment, the feeling, like everybody comes together. Like that's what I'm as an adult. That's what it's back to. It's
Yeah,
like opening day. It just brings all the good feelings, like good vibes. Summer's coming, like beautiful weather's coming, like
absolutely.
baseball every day, something to look forward to. Like it's just a great time. Like great, every single day you can watch a baseball game. Beautiful weather, people in the stands. Like it's more than just a game too. It's an environment. Families go to the ballpark. You walk around the stadium, get food, get drinks. Like it's just a great time.
Absolutely. And like I don't know, it's just like where I was watching watching some of the games today, and like you don't really like think of like certain stuff, but like you look like I saw like Bryce Harper I think he has like 6 career home runs on opening day. Like that's the type of stuff that they remember. Like they remember the fact that they like, or there's guys who were absolutely miserable every year on opening day. It's like they hate but like it's just there's just something about baseball opening day. It's so much different than like the first NFL game of the year. The first, like, I'm not a hockey guy, but like I'm sure the first NHL like game is fun for like some fans, and like it's just like basketball tip off. Like I like see now that's one that like I feel like I always will always like have like a little space in my heart for, because I remember like being like I don't know like 13, and that's when like the NBA All-Star game. I mean the NBA's tip off would always be around Halloween.
Yeah.
So or it would be on Halloween, which was awesome because like you'd go to like you go out whatever like when you're like 10, go out trick or treat and then come home and
going through a bag of candy right for
watching Iverson cross people over. It was fucking awesome, dude. But like that's the type of shit that I remember. And like for opening day now, it's like I just get like nostalgia thinking about like you know, like I talked about it. I talked about it with the guy like that I talked baseball with earlier about Jason Hayward. I'll never forget that Jason Hayward when he for his first game as a Brave came up, and he was hyped. He was the number 1 overall prospect at the time, so it was like everyone wanted to see what he was going to do, and he smoked a home run in his first at bat. Like, and it was like
great rookie season.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was just one of those things that like I feel like we don't like appreciate at the time, but we don't realize that's like Jason Hayward is still a good player, but he didn't end up being what they thought he was going to be, where he was going to be one of the top players in the league. But like he's made a nice career for himself, and it was just nice. It was cool to see like a big moment in his career ended up being like something that I'll always remember. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I'd seen a stat earlier, like you're saying, all the players really remember stuff like that. Clayton Kershaw batting is 8 for 21 in his career opening day. Like it's like a 371 batting average. Like
that's crazy.
Like that's something to him. It's like he'll probably always remember that. But like it's just such a weird stat. It's just like it's cool. And opening day, like you got to get to the point where it's got to be a national holiday at some point. Like every day is a day game. Like just make it a national holiday, chalk it up, and
for all these wacky holidays that they make, like social media has made, how has like opening day not become like bigger? Like, you know, like whether it be like there's all you always look on like, you know, different like I feel like Facebook always has like those weird days that like people talk about, like I don't know, like wacky like sock day or some bullshit like that, and everyone's like, oh my god, like, but like opening day like deserves its own like spot next to like Christmas, New Year's, stuff like that. It's just special. It's different. It's different than any other sport. It is absolutely like, you know, like one of the first times I ever hung out with my wife was at an opening day. It was Red Sox Phillies. You know what I mean? Like I got me and my brother got tickets. My brother got me tickets for my birthday or Christmas. I forget which one it was, and that was like a big thing. Like he was like, we're going to go to opening day, and it was huge. It was, but like that's the stuff that like those days are the games that like I'll always remember because one, so I met pretty much hung out with my wife for like the first time there, but like now it's like such a bigger thing because like then it's also time with my brother that I got to spend. You know what I mean? So it's like, and we're both Red Sox fans, so it was like awesome to be there with him and all that whole environment. Like he always talks about like my wife was in his phone as girl John told me to save her number. Like it was like he like had like this long title for her. But like again, like that's just the shit that I'll have for opening day memories in my life.
Yeah. I remember after like not it was opening day, but when Bin Laden got killed, and like just the crowd in Philly because the game, I think it was Sunday night maybe or Friday night, one of them. But I know
it was on ESPN.
Yeah, it was a primetime game. Phillies were playing, and they were chanting like USA.
Yep,
it's just beautiful. Like baseball brings everyone together, and then like you said, you went to a game with your brother and all, and that's like something that you would always remember.
Absolutely.
Me and my brother went to a game right after we got Bin Laden, and it was like, I forget what the shirt said. It was like, got something, got this, got Bin Laden. I was like, I had to buy it. Like I was like, whatever, 18, 17, running around drunk with a stupid T-shirt on.
Yeah, dude, it's just like a whole other animal when it comes to like sports. Like it really is. Like I put opening day in my mind up there with like the Super Bowl. Like that's where I'm at. Like not everyone's gonna feel that way, obviously, because not everyone's a baseball fan. But like in my life, that's where I look at that. I look at that as like this huge deal. Like I couldn't wait to get home from work today to go and watch anything. Like I put like on my way home, I put the Pirates. Who played the Pirates today? It was like a weird game. Pirates and Cubs. Like
no, who the hell cares about that? But I watched it too.
Yeah, like I enjoyed watching that. Like I did. I really enjoyed watching it. And then I put the Reds game on. They were getting smashed in like the second inning by the Cardinals. Like it's just a great like experience because like Luis Castillo was a good pitcher. Yeah, and got smashed today.
Yeah,
he got rocked. And then Kershaw got rocked today too. So it's like that's another one that just got fucking.
Bumgarner got rocked. I mean, he's towards the end, but a lot of good pitchers got rocked today. But luckily, the person I'm working for right now, he wanted to get home in time for Philly's home opener, so we let everyone go at like 11:30. So I'm sitting in my house watching the Cubs Pirates on my phone on MLB TV. I got the Yankees game on TV. Like do I really care about these teams? No, but it's baseball. Like I want to watch as many games as I possibly can, especially opening day.
Exactly. Like I could like, and I've said this to many people before. I could sit there and watch like two random teams. Like again, the Pirates. I could watch the Pirates play the Rockies and be completely content.
Yep. And I don't know if you have Verizon, like or not Verizon, T-Mobile.
T-Mobile.
Yeah, they have the T-Mobile Tuesday, the free MLB TV. Like that's the greatest thing ever.
My brother has had T-Mobile for the last 3 years, and I swear to God, the only reason he has it is so me and him can get MLB.TV for free. And he's been holding on strong for us for the past 3 seasons, and it's been incredible.
Yeah, I've had Sprint, and then they finally merged. So this is my first year getting the free MLB TV. So I'm fired up.
All year.
It's ridiculous. It's the greatest promotion ever.
By far, me and my wife have been talking about getting rid of our cell phone plan because Verizon's brutal when it comes to like the amount it is. So like, if I go anywhere, I'm going to T-Mobile because I'm gripping fucking free MLB.TV and not mooching off my brother anymore with it.
Yeah,
but like, it's special. It's just I'm just so excited to have baseball back, like legit baseball back. Like we have the Phillies podcast that we talk just Phillies, but like there's so much more going on right now when it comes to baseball. And like this is my little segue into that. Look at Lindor. That deal last night that he signed is unreal.
Yeah, and I like that he stood his ground too. He didn't just take the 10 for 320. He was like, not enough. Like meet me halfway, meet me where I want to be at 12, 385, or we'll talk later in the season or in the off season. And
and I love that. And I love when players do that because I'm a union guy. So I like seeing the people who are like the worker get what they deserve. They're the product. They are 100% the product. So let them be the product and let that happen. You know what I mean? So like we got a Sean Ulmer here telling, yo, Dan, let me get that login.
I can't say it out loud. I'll text you.
But yeah, dude, it's like that's a huge deal, and it's even more. I think it's even bigger for the simple fact that like the off season when the off season comes, we've talked about this a couple of times. There's a lot of shortstops who are on the market right now. That deal right there. Well, first of all, the Tatis deal set the tone. Then you have now this deal. Like you're gonna have guys. You have guys like Correa coming out, Trevor Story. Corey Seager. You got guys who, I mean, you have guys who are going to be, asking for a good amount of money. I feel like Correa, I think he is going to overvalue himself a little bit, but for the only reason he'll overvalue himself is because of the fact that he's been hurt almost every year, but he's still going to try to get something more. Like, I think if the Astros go, how about we give you like 6 years, 5 years, 180, I think he'll start listening a little bit more. But like, you're hurt every year. You have a back issue. Like, but like that deal right there is going to set the tone for a lot of things that are about to happen in this offseason.
Yeah, so if them players, if Correa, or well, maybe not Correa, but Story and Seager, like they have a great chance to have just as good of a year as Lindor. Like that's the mark, and if they play just as well, or if not better, then they obviously are going to get that deal. Like they're not going to get anything less. They're going to have all the leverage in the world.
And I think a lot of them are going to have leverage on the simple fact that they can look back, just even though 2020 was a shortened season, they could look back to 2020 and go, well, Lindor got that, and he was awful at the dish in 2020. Yeah. Where the other guys that we mentioned, other than Correa, I think he got hurt again. So like he got hurt again. So like he's another one who, like, they're all going to be like, well, we played better than him. Why do we not get that?
He was finally healthy, and he was in MVP talks. And Trevor Story just has monster seasons every year. I mean, granted, it's in Coors Field, but you can't take that away from him. Like, he just balls out. He gets home runs, doubles, steals, average, great defensively. Like, there's nothing bad you can say about Story.
100%. Like, there really isn't. And it's like, we're going to continuously go on like throughout this season. We're going to see different guys. Like, I have a feeling that you're going to see, obviously, Trevor Story. I think he's going to get traded. I don't think that there's really much of a debate on that. They already said that. But the biggest issue with the Rockies is the Rockies already told him that they're not going to sign him. So we're not going to sign you, but we're going to Why would you tell everybody that?
Yeah, it's so stupid.
You know what I mean?
I would say we're going to build around Trevor Story. Then, you got a lot more leverage there.
100% you do, because now you look dumb. Because when they try to trade him, they're going to be like, all right, well, why would we try to outbid you for a guy that you already told you're not re-signing? So, like, we're not going to give you our good players for him. It kind of makes it's kind of ridiculous that they even outright said that.
Such a bad business move. Like, how do you run a company and say something like that? It just doesn't make sense.
I mean, it's also the Colorado Rockies. You know what I mean? So it's like they've been making bad business moves for years now. Like, they made it to the World Series in 2007, and that's been the pinnacle of the Colorado Rockies, has been the 2007 season. And they had built a core there. We really saw something special. And I thought this new regime that they've been going on with the Charlie Blackmon, Arenado at the time, and
Story came up
and Story. Yeah, and at one time they had DJ LeMahieu. So like you had a nice core of players, and you just let them walk. Like, you already let two of them walk. Charlie Blackmon's going to end up being there by himself for probably another year.
He's been there too long now. Like, he has to be close to 35, right? He's right around that age.
No, I think I don't think he's that old. I know that he's older, but like, I don't think he's in the mid 30s. I'll check it right now.
I think he came up pretty late. Might not be 35, but
let's see. I think he's up there. Yeah, you're right. He's 34.
34, yeah. I knew.
He's 34.
I started late. He was a little late bloomer and then just took off. But
yeah, I mean, like,
where's he going to go? Like, maybe he'll be a player that might go to the Yankees and play left field or something like that, like down the road. But
like, that's like, he's one of those guys. Like, I didn't realize how old he was. But again, he hasn't been in the league that long. So like,
yeah.
But that's wild that he's only that old, and he's already that old, and like
he said his career.
He really did in a team that didn't really even look like they are willing to compensate. I mean, look at Arenado. They paid him all that money, and then it doesn't even look like they even remotely like wanted to compete.
It's not like they like valued him. They just paid him because they had to, and it was like, well, we're not really ready to win, or we're not worried about winning. We're not going to put a great pitching staff together or anything like that. Or
and
it's a good bullpen.
And I get it. Like a lot of those teams in like a lot of pitchers probably don't want to pitch in Colorado.
Yeah,
I get that.
Yeah, it's terrible.
And I understand that. But like somewhere down the line, you're gonna have to figure that out.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's almost to the point where you might do you have to get rid of Coors Field and make something with like a dome to where that doesn't. I mean, I don't know if that's gonna help, but like it might do something. Like to where
I guess it would have to help, right? Like you have to be able to do something to regulate the altitude a little bit.
You'd have to.
People will say just move the fences back. Like that's part of the problem there. The outfield's huge. Like it's not that everyone hits home runs. It's the outfielders have no chance to cover the gaps.
Like, the ball just flies.
Yeah.
Like it's not their fault that the ball comes out the bat like it does, but like it kind of is at the same time. Like you have a fucking team in Denver,
how high off the sea level.
Yeah, like it's. I don't know. To be honest, I mean their best option might even be to just sell and leave Colorado. That might be the only way. Like
move down the mountain a little bit.
Yeah, or something. Like they're like that's truly affecting the state of the franchise. Yeah, the state of the franchise is being affected by that. Like I remember in 07 when they were actually like competing and all that, they were doing like putting the balls in that humidor.
Yeah.
And like, but what did that do? Like it didn't matter. They were like they tried saying like the homers were down that year, but like it almost like they just said, fuck it, we're not gonna do it in the humidor anymore. We're just gonna get teed off on again. Like they stopped caring. Like they took Ubaldo Jimenez and Jeff Francis to a World Series. Like that was their pitchers then.
Yeah,
like that's wild.
It is. Ubaldo had that one dominant. What is he like 15-1 at the All-Star break or something? Like that was ridiculous.
And I think that was after the 07 season. I think it was like 08 or 09. He was just like a dominant starter, and then he just wasn't anymore. He was just miserable at the plate.
Yeah,
I mean, not the plate, on the mound.
Not so many pitchers that like come from there ever leave and do anything. So it's not. I don't think it's. But then again, I don't know if it's talent that's there or that just ruins their mindset.
I've only ever
for a couple of years and then you're just fried.
Yeah, like I've only ever seen, I think, one, like off the top of my head, like one successful pitcher in that franchise, and it was Mike Hampton.
Yeah.
That's the only one I can really think of who had like a solid career after leaving.
Yeah, I was gonna say away from there.
Yeah, like when he pitched for the Mets, he wasn't bad. Like he had a solid career with the Mets, but like it's kind of crazy that like they've gone this long and they just can't figure out pitching. Like it's I feel like it's so simple of a concept, but I mean, you could look at the fucking Angels and say the same thing. But like, there's a lot of teams that don't know how to just figure out. They have one issue, but they just can't see it, but everybody else can.
Yeah,
and that's what it comes down to with the Rockies. Like, they just can't figure out that being the issue. Like, how do we stop getting fucking teed off on every time we throw a baseball?
Yeah. Not to mention they're in a really tough division right now, so they're not getting any closer to the top.
No, they're even further behind the 8 ball. Yeah. Like they're so much further behind because there's 3 teams in that division who will compete nonstop, and 2 of them are going to be battling out for the NL.
Yeah, for the best team in the league.
Yeah, it's and sometimes like you got to think like playing in Colorado definitely helps a lot of those like the Dodgers and stuff like that. Like they play those teams 18 times a year.
Yeah, they play like, 9 games there every year. Like that helps.
Yeah, like that's a huge help. Like playing those teams, like, but people don't really see that, and people don't really. I feel like people don't like think about the other teams who are coming in that it helps. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, dude, and it's crazy how like I didn't even think that we were ever going to get onto a Rockies conversation, but like it just kind of just ran into that. But like one more thing on that, like it's kind of crazy. Like everyone sees it as that because I remember a couple years ago when I was playing FanDuel, they priced the shit out of everyone who plays. Like I remember like the Marlins when the Marlins were like awful at the time, and they had like every player on the Marlins was like $8,000. Like it was like they just overpriced every they were literally top 3 at each position. Were fucking Marlins. Like why? Because of where they're playing at. They bought in so much to the Coors Field thing that they just outpriced everybody. Like, it was so easy to just fade the shit out of that game because everyone knew that nothing was going to happen. But yeah. Anyway. Hold on one second. I do want to stop and pause as we're talking about construction of fucking franchises and how we can fix it. I do want to talk about the fastest growing construction company in the tri-state area. That's Garrett Group Construction. GGC is available to service all of your construction needs, from gut rehab and demolition to renovations of bathrooms and kitchens. Choose Garrett Group Construction, the official sponsor of the Frozen Rope podcast. Call today for a free estimate. 267-262-1660. Once again, that is 267-262-1660. There is no job too big or too small. Shout out to my man Joey Garrett. So, we saw today some interesting things that went on in baseball. One in particular was those Dodgers. That crazy situation that we've seen a handful of times in baseball, but one that you've never really expect to see at the major league level.
Especially not on a home run.
No. So if you don't know what we're talking about, today, Cody Bellinger, with a man on, Justin Turner was on first. Cody Bellinger hits a ball to left field. Tapia jumps the wall. Guess Justin Turner thinks that he caught it. That's the only thing I can imagine he thought. He had to. He's rounding the bases, and he starts running back because he thinks Tapia caught it. And now, in the middle of first and second base is Cody Bellinger standing there looking high as fuck, like he always does.
Just jogging around.
Just jogging, looking so confused on what the situation is. He passes him, which, if you know baseball, you know the rules. You cannot pass the runner who is on base. If you're the hitter, you cannot pass the runner on base. That runner is now the guy who passed him is now out.
Yeah.
So Cody Bellinger, who actually hit a home run, ended up getting given a RBI single instead. Dan, what the fuck happened?
I don't know, but can you imagine, like you're saying, DraftKings and stuff? Like, imagine prop betting Cody Bellinger hitting a home run today, smashes one over the wall and gets a single. I would drive down the shore and throw my phone in the ocean. Like, that's ridiculous. Like,
that was one.
How did they not see each other at some point? Like, I guess from Turner's perspective, if he caught it, Bellinger's going to run through second base anyway. Like, he's already rounding first. He's just going to keep running. So Turner, I guess, is in that mindset, like, oh, Bellinger's out, so I can go back. As long as I get back to first, we're good. But, like, how doesn't a Bellinger be like, yo, what are you doing?
Yeah, like, or anybody else.
Yeah, what's the first base coach doing?
Well, yeah, that's where I'm at. Like, why isn't the first base coach, or the fact that he was rounding second, the third, he has to be looking at third base at some point. The third base coach is either going to be waving him in or telling him what to do, of some sort. He's going to let him know what his deal is, what he's supposed to be doing. How did the third base coach not sit there and go, or something like let him know?
I didn't see the third base coach. Did the third base coach point him back to first? Like, the third base coach maybe thought he caught it.
That could have been.
There's not that many fans in the stands. I mean, it's a weird time right now. They were away, right?
Yeah, they were in Colorado.
So I'm assuming how many Colorado – we talked about Colorado today more than any Colorado podcast probably did in the last 2 weeks. So there's probably not many fans in the stands there at all. They probably didn't react whatsoever. If he does think he caught it, like, there's no reaction from the crowd. You don't know, I guess. And maybe the third base coach is at fault. Maybe he told him to go back to first. It's a ridiculous situation in the MLB game, that's for sure.
Yeah, at this level, it's just hard. Like, how did you like? But again, if you look at the replay, Tapia does look like he caught the ball.
Yeah.
So the ball is in his glove and it goes over the fence. But, like, there's cameras everywhere. If he looked up and saw on the screen, the ball still went over the fence.
Yeah.
Like, that's a home run. Like, and you just cost your team 2 runs, which if you look at the score, last I saw it was like 8-4
Five. Yes.
Rockies. Yeah,
Five.
it was. So it was 8-5.
Yeah.
So it could be 8-7 right
Yep.
now if that doesn't happen. Like there are like little things like thank God it was game 1 of 162. Like it's but like it's little stuff like that I mean that could really fuck things over. Like
that might be the game that the Padres beat them for the division.
that one game. You're right.
That's
like
1 of 162, but like I hate that the whole every game, like baseball, there's so many games, like not all of them matter. Like they do. Like every single game matters. Like why the hell would you play them if they don't?
Divisional games 100% matter.
Yeah, especially
when you play. Yeah, when you play in your division is big, and especially like we just talked about, the National League West is a tight division, and it's going to be tight. Like I know people are just going to think the Dodgers are just going to run away with shit, but it's a tight division. When it all comes down to it, it's a tight division.
Yeah, and you got to beat up on them seller teams. Like every game the Padres or the Dodgers play have to beat the Rockies. Like
100%.
That's like the Phillies last year. If they beat up on the Marlins, they're in the playoffs.
100%.
The Marlins own them. So
like right now, and the National League Central, they need to be beating the shit out of the Pirates.
Yeah, big time.
And I saw my man Cabrian whatchamacallit. Yeah. He hit a homer today.
Yeah, first inning. Yeah,
he's the man, dude. He's so good. He's gonna definitely be up there for the Rookie of the Year this year. He's so fucking good.
Yeah, I think he has to be the front runner going into it. He batted
I would think
375 last year.
Like yeah,
however many games he played, but that's ridiculous.
That kid's a player, man. And like there's so many like little like and I'm happy that teams like that like showed out today. Like they literally got told, like the Pirates got told 0% chance of making the playoffs. They were the only team in the sport, I think, that I saw that got 0% chance.
Yeah, but like, guaranteed 100 losses.
Yeah, and that's crazy. Like if anything, like that's the shit that would motivate me to want to beat the shit out of every team, like especially teams in like the the Cardinals. Like I would love to because everyone's picking the Cardinals or the Brewers. The Brewers, like that's another and the Cubs. There's 3 solid teams in that division, and what they're supposed to be doing is beating the shit out of the Pirates.
Yep.
So it's did the Pirates end up winning that game because they were winning that game for a little bit.
For sure.
Like they played and they faced off against Hendrick, who's a good pitcher.
Yeah,
he's somebody who I thought that. I mean, I still think I think they're going to be looking to trade him. So if depending on this, seeing how the season shapes out for the Cubs could either be buyers, like complete buyers, or complete sellers at the All-Star at the break. Like we have no idea where they're at right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but you'd think Kendricks is top priority for a lot of teams to go pick up, get that
absolutely
steady veteran pitcher. He's not overthrown. He's pinpoint control. You don't have to worry about him. Like you know what you're getting with him.
100%. And you got a guy like me and my buddy Ryan were talking about this the other day. Like if you look at Hendricks' numbers next to Nola's, they're very, very similar.
Yeah.
We in Philadelphia, like there's people who say that we've talked about this before, that Nola is a Cy Young winner, or I mean, as an ace.
Yeah,
where you have the Cubs who pretty much have said everything but telling Hendricks that he's not an ace.
Yep.
So how are they so similar? Yet one fan base thinks one thing and another fan base thinks the complete opposite. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it makes sense.
It kind of makes you think. Like, but I'll tell you what, Nola pitched like an ace today. He looked phenomenal today.
Made one mistake to fat little pain. That ball just landed hard.
There is like very few players that like, as a fan of another team that like, or a fan of a team that like you like hate with a fucking passion, and Pablo Sandoval weighing probably 800 pounds during his entire time with the Red Sox was miserable. Yeah, it was miserable watching that fucking dude. And like I remember him swinging the bat and his belt popped off.
Yeah, he's just an absolute mess. He's Bartolo Colon, but not cool at all. Just a fat.
Yeah, he's not. He's no. There's very few that are like big, sexy. My man Bartolo Colon, I love that dude.
Yeah, he's the only reason I want to see pitchers hit. Other than him, chalk that up.
Dude, I just said that last night. I was talking to somebody on someone on like I made like a status about something. Oh, it was this I screenshot at the them talking about Manfred saying that they're going to be all talking tonight about they're talking last night about the universal DH. Somebody asked about it, and I literally said I am so happy that they at least let Bartolo Colon hit before that happened, because I love there was that home run that he hit with the Mets was fucking awesome.
That's great for baseball. Like I don't care. Like as a Phillies fan, I hate the Mets. I was so happy when I seen him hit a home run. Like it's so ridiculous. Dude just spins around. His helmet falls off all the time. It's just
he
built, built like a 6-year-old plumber. Like just good for the sport.
And the fucking crazy part about Bartolo Colon is that he was like a dominant pitcher at one point in his career. Like he wasn't just like he's a Cy Young winner. Like he won a Cy Young.
He threw mid-90s when he was back in the day. Like
he was a beast. Like Bartolo was awesome with the Indians and with the Angels. Like he was a legit serious starting pitcher in this league. And like now he's looked at as kind of like, oh, like Bartolo, like a joke.
He's more of a meme than anything.
Yeah, but like people forget that dude wasn't always, just like a layup. You know what I mean? Like he was an animal at one point. Like he was one of the best pitchers in baseball at one point.
Yeah.
But like it's wild. But like there like I said earlier, there was a lot that went on today. Like I mean, look at Bryce Harper's shoes his cleats today. They were fucking incredible. Like he's another one. That play that he was completely safe, by the way, on that play at third. That was bullshit.
That's one that, I mean, if they call him safe on the field, they can't overturn it. Just the fact that he was called out. I mean, did he get him on the shin before his hand got in there? Like, you can't – there was no conclusive evidence that he did. It's just the call on the field had to stand, I guess. But
So I was listening to the radio. And Larry Anderson said something great, which, by the way, the radio version of anything I feel like baseball-wise is better.
Well, Larry Anderson's a legend. He says whatever he wants, and he's himself. Like
he's phenomenal, and I remember there was stories years ago saying that the only reason why he's on the radio is because they don't want him speaking the truth on TV.
Yeah,
and I love that, and that's something that I love to hear, because I'll defer to him a lot instead of listening to the broadcast, because I'm not a big Ben Davis guy. I fucking hate Ricky Botelko. Like there's like certain, you know what I mean? There's certain guys like the spring training was brutal at one point, watching and listening to some of them guys. Like I like Ruben Amaro. I like Ruben Amaro, but like there are times where I'm just like, there's certain things that you should be doing, and there's certain things you shouldn't be doing, and I'm not sure how I feel about him in the booth. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. There's certain guys that I like in the booth. There's certain people that I don't. And I feel like he's one of them. Like I'm still uncertain about him being in there. Because, I mean, for years, I called him Ruin Tomorrow Jr. You know what I mean? So it's like, I hope one day to have him on here. So like, I don't want to be too rude about it, but like, yeah, but like, it's just one of those things where it's like, the radio version of them are so much better. They are phenomenal. They're so good. But anyway,
Merrill Reese with the Eagles, Merrill Reese is awesome.
He's awesome. So Larry Anderson was saying earlier that if anyone goes back for a second tag, it usually means that he knows he missed them.
Yep.
So in the replay, if you see him going back for that second tag, you know for a fact that dude probably missed them. There's a very, very good chance he missed him.
If you feel you tug him, you stand up. Like, what the hell? Why would you tag him again?
Because you fucking know that you didn't. You know what I mean? Like, and that's right. That right there is where I would punish the defender and go, well, now he's safe, because that's bullshit.
Yeah, and if you call it safe, you can't overturn that he was out. Like, that's just one of the. I mean, I get it. It's what's called on the field, so it has to stand, but. Yeah. I mean, I love the hustle and all. You go from first to third on an infield hit. Like, he just plays the game right. Like, maybe a questionable choice, but that's why you love Bryce Harper. Like, that's the thing.
Absolutely.
The thing that he do is hustles. Like, brings it every at bat, every time round in the bases. Like that, what you're getting from him.
Exactly. So like, I brought this up to somebody earlier, because there was one of this dude, like me and this other dude talk about baseball a lot, and he texted me and said, I hate that he did that. Like, well, if they want to beat teams like the Braves and they want to be in the race with like Braves, the Mets, the Nationals, they're going to need to be aggressive. They're going to need to do shit like that in order to beat the NL, to even compete in the NL East, because pitching wise, they're not there. They're not where the NL East, the rest of the NL East is, in my opinion. Like Soroka looked dirty in his spring training outing. Like that's not good if a guy like Soroka comes back, and because Fried looked good today too.
Yeah, Fried did. He it was a little wild at first, but to give the Phillies credit, they were having great at bats against him. Like they weren't making it easy on him at all. They weren't really crushing balls. They weren't hitting them hard or anything. But they were definitely making them work. But yeah, like you said, Soroka coming back, he was their best pitcher before he got hurt. Like he was a stud. He was better than Fried.
For sure. And Fried became something bigger because of him not having that. And they have Ian Anderson waiting. So it's like there's a lot going on for them. For the Braves have a lot of young starting pitchers to work with. Where we've talked about this before, the Phillies are really a 1-2 punch, and then it's just kind of a question mark after that.
Yeah,
so like,
you gotta pray that Chase Anderson and Matt Moore can just be like we talked about before, the Band-Aids on the bullet wound. Like you just keep cycling these people in, but that's asking a lot for them to stay healthy all year and actually contribute and give you those 6 innings every 5 days. But that's what's going to have to happen if the Phillies want to compete with these NL East teams. For sure.
And like, there's a lot of, there is pluses to today. We saw a lot of pluses with that team, with a team that, we're going to talk about the Phillies we're like a little bit, but like we saw a definite, positive in the fact that Alvarado looked dirty.
Yeah.
He hit Austin Riley late in the game and bloated the bases, and we were all like, "What the fuck?"
On an 0-2 count with a curveball.
Yeah. But in reality, that curve was fucking nasty. It hit him in his back foot.
He should have started at 6 inches outside, not right in the middle of the plate. But yeah, it moved 32 inches. So
yeah, like that's not normal. Yeah, that's not normal. And his entire approach against Marcell Ozuna was incredible.
Yep.
The way he jammed him inside and ended up striking him out because of that. Yeah. Like that was filthy.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, there was a lot of fun stuff. We're missing stuff right now, I'm sure, but like there's so much going on right now. You know what I mean? Like it's just so good and refreshing that we have opening day and we can actually start talking about live baseball and stuff that's actually going on. And I'm just so happy that Lindor signed. I'm happy that I wish he would have been able to play today. He was another one that got PPD'd today. But I'm just so excited that that's back. The Red Sox got fucking
today. Theirs was from rain though, right? Red Sox.
But, the Nationals was for the COVID situation.
They canceled tomorrow's game already for them too.
Yeah,
it's bullshit. I get it, but it's this far. Like you're in the second year of this now, and how did the Nationals not get penalized? Like they have positive cases, the Mets have nothing. Like it's fucked up,
dude. I don't know. It's crazy that we're still in this spot where that's going to delay games. That's going to get games canceled. I was telling somebody earlier that I'm coaching at the prep and all, so we've had a hard time finding anyone to play for other teams. We've seen the same team cancel twice. We've had one team that couldn't even field enough players because of the situation. Then we were trying to get scrimmages going on with other teams in the Catholic League. Yeah, four other schools are not even playing right now. Roman Catholic hasn't even had tryouts yet. Yeah, that's where we're at right now. So it's there's so much going on, and in these teams, that's going to happen. This is how it's going to be. It's going to we're going to be in this situation all year, where we're constantly replacing players or canceling games. It's nice. It's good that the team that it happened against was a team that's in your division, because you're going to play them a shit ton.
Yeah.
So you can find fucking you can
double
header in like 3 months. Like, you don't have to wait on it. You can wait on a doubleheader right now. But like, it sucks that this is how it's going to be, and this is where we're at in this. Like, we're going to see a lot of, postponements and a lot of teams that aren't going to be able to play for a week or two. Like we saw with the Cardinals last year, we saw with the Marlins last year. There was a lot of teams that did this. So, but it
is what it is at this point, I guess. But
absolutely. But before we do anything else, there's another thing I want to talk about. But before we do that, I want to pause to promote some of the other shows we have on the Buzz here. A lot of our live podcasts that we have, and I'm also going to do one for our audio shows only too as well. So here we go.
War. Tell them that's what we ready for. War. Tell them that's what we ready for. War. Bringing that to competitors. Till we see the confetti fall, be ready for war. Tell them that's what we ready for. War. Tell them that's what we ready for. War. Bringing that to competitors. Till we see the confetti fall, be ready for war. Tell them I'm ready, any opponent. The crown heavy and every minute is chosen. A path only fit for kings, and you don't know what this court means. What did you enlist for? If it isn't getting more rings, then you gon' have to switch your team. Trust me, it gets more mean. I'm a nightmare going up against your dreams. First step is explosive like a bomb hit. Bet if I let it fly, I cannot miss. And you ain't got a chance at the top 10 when you getting clamped all night by a locksmith. On the block throwing lobs to my top bigs. I'm a chef, no look, what's the top dish? Tie game, through the pressure as the clock ticks. Crossover, step back, hit a shot, swish.
All right, go to the Buzz, Instagram, Facebook, anywhere. We're everywhere. There's so much content. We have articles from everything: articles, audio podcasts, video podcasts like this one that you're watching currently. And it's the experience they have is just incredible. They have so much great stuff, and just go on the Buzz, go follow them, do whatever you got to do. So, one more thing before we even get any further, I do want to say that we will be going. The Frozen Run podcast will be going every Thursday from this point on until the end of the season. We will no longer be taking our, bi-weekly thing that we usually do. It will be week to week to week to week during the regular season so that we can get all of the baseball shit that we have to talk about in. So that's the only announcement that I have to make with that. Next thing I want to talk about, college baseball. I know it's a little bit different. This is a usual just MLB podcast, but college baseball has been incredible recently. And one person in particular, I'm going to talk to you because you are a huge pitcher guy. I want to talk about Jack Leiters.
Yeah, kid. Can't really say enough about him. I mean, like, what's he have, a .25 ERA this year so far in however many innings, 25 innings or so? More than that.
He went what, 17 innings?
Yeah, with no hits.
Of no-hit baseball?
Yeah.
He walked the first guy he faced in the beginning of that and then hasn't looked back since.
Yeah. One runs allowed this year. It's crazy.
He's an absolute stud. He went from being where, like, as a Red Sox fan, I was kind of hoping that he was going to fall to 4. I don't even think he makes it past 2.
No, I don't think he does at all.
If I had to guess, it's going to be him and Kumar Rocker, who also pitches for Vanderbilt.
Yeah, his teammates.
Like that rotation alone right there. Like, who do you like right now? Kumar Rocker is the Friday starter, which is the big deal in college. Is the Friday starter, but like either one of them could be a Friday starter right now. Like
they're the 2 best Friday starters in college baseball. Like, they just happen to be playing on the same team.
So one has to pitch Saturday. You know what I mean? So it's like it's literally not fair when you see like and you're a pitching ninja guy, so like you see the videos that he posted for college baseball. He's been big on posting about college baseball. He wants to get the product out there. It is incredible what's been going on with college baseball. The way that they like the passion that goes on there. when you growing up, did you ever have a favorite college like baseball team that you like watched it all or like that you knew about?
Not really. I used to like back when NCAA baseball was a thing. Like I would always just pick like the worst team possible, and I would just try to like make them great. Like that's something I wanted to do. I never really focused on baseball necessarily, but Vanderbilt's they're unbelievable right now. But
Dude.
I mean Rice. I guess Rice I liked growing up, but they were like.
I was just about to say the same thing.
There was nothing but studs. Like it was just great talent constantly, great pitchers. Like everything was just unreal.
Do you remember Joe Savory?
Yeah,
he was a first baseman and a pitcher, and the dude he was a fucking animal.
Just crossed baseballs,
and he was their best pitcher. And then he got drafted by the Phillies.
Yeah, you would. I mean, I had high hopes for him, but that didn't work out.
No one knew who the fuck he was, but like. You look around and you're like, oh, like Rice, like who the fuck is Rice? But like, they had some good players. I mean, Lance Berkman went there. Lance Berkman is a Rice alum. Like, there's some good guys who it was a powerhouse back in like the late '90s, like early 2000s. Like that was one of the squads. It was them, Texas. Like that's I loved the college baseball game. I wish they would have brought it back.
Yeah, me too. The metal bats, like the sound and metal bats in the game and everything was just awesome.
It was great.
To swing, like it was good stuff. It wasn't a one button tapping shit.
No, and it was in the time of MVP baseball, so it was like they made a ESPN was made a college baseball game. It was awesome.
MVP baseball is also probably the best baseball video game
by far. The show is the only thing that's close, and it's not close.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was just, like I remember I went a full season where I played 162 games and I won all 162 of them.
And never got tired of it.
No. And I went and I swept in the World Series. My only goal, and like I hit so many home runs with Manny Ramirez at one point that they started counting backwards. Like he literally had like 0 home runs by the end of the year because they would not go any further than like a certain amount.
Yeah, once you broke the record, it was like Well, not even the record. You probably had 100 plus, and it was just
yeah. So it just like started going backwards. It was ridiculous. Like, but it was awesome. It was the best game ever. It was literally the best game of all time. Like, and it made me like the college game made me like college baseball.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to look up some teams back when you like as further like before like you can't do as nearly as much as you could do now, but like. Then it was just awesome. It was just awesome to watch, like the metal bat situation, like we talked about. Like I love that. I love the metal bats, and I wish the major leagues could do them, but someone would get fucking killed if that was the case. Like, imagine Bryce Harper swinging an aluminum bat right now.
Yeah, he would hit the ball. It'd be hitting I'd have to get more insurance on my house. There would definitely be pitchers dying all the time.
Dude, he realistically would probably put a hole through like. Someone's chest, like he would put like anyone would be like imagine like Giancarlo Stanton too, like his absolute beast Luke Voigt. That whole Yankees team could fucking put a hole in people's chest. Like, Judge, like that whole team is just filled with like just fucking animals. But like imagine if that was like how it was, like that they went and like let them use aluminum bats and like
we need more fans. Let them use bats. Yeah, I mean metal bats like.
I think they should let them use aluminum bats in the home run derby, though.
Yeah, why not? It's a fucking home run derby. Like, show off. Like
that would be awesome.
Yeah, they're hitting 630-foot piss missiles. Like, it'd be great stuff.
They would also probably be like pretty annoyed that they would probably break in like the fucking like scoreboard and shit. They would destroy the scoreboard. Ball come off the bat like
across the stadium.
Ball come off the bat like 160 miles per hour. Like it would be sickening.
It'd probably break a lot of baseballs, honestly.
1,000%. It would be miserable. Like it would be miserable for whoever hosted that All-Star game to allow that to happen. But yeah, man, but Jack Leiters has just been it's incredible. Like the run that he's on and like I'm loving the fact that the SEC network has been playing Jack Leiters game. Like he's been like I've been able to watch him start the last 2 games.
Yeah.
Like I do. Like I'm love
how often that doesn't really happen.
No, and it's like I have all like the ACC network. I have like all of that. It's like I'm not a big college sports fan. Like I don't really like college basketball. I don't like. I'm not a big fan of schools. I'm not a big fan of college sports for the main reason that I never went to any of these schools. You know what I mean? Like I know people are like Notre Dame fans, stuff like that, like Duke fans. Like I'm not. I can't root for a school that I didn't go to. That's like me. That's like. I mean, now I guess I'm rooting for the prep, but like I have like some type of tie there. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, I mean,
I can't.
coach there. Like, what the,
Yeah, well, I'm talking like when I was younger. Like I was. My dad was a coach there, so it's like I loved the prep. There was another team, that was another school that I liked, but like that's like me rooting for Roman. Like I have no ties to Roman. But like you know, it's just weird. It's like a weird like I find that strange.
Yeah, like I feel guilty when like Nova makes a run in the tournament, and I'm like, let's go. Like I'm not a diehard Nova fan in basketball. Like if they're having a bad season, it doesn't affect me. But like I do jump on the bandwagon a little bit, I guess, because they're local. But like, yeah, I definitely get what you're saying. Like I don't have a like if you don't have a tie, then like how can you really be like a dedicated fan?
You can't be like that's where I just don't see how like you can be like. There's so many people who are like Tar Heel fans, like North Carolina, big North Carolina fans. Hell, how are you a North Carolina fan? You don't go there. Like because of Jordan, like Michael Jordan, like especially like now, like a guy like me, like I didn't watch Michael Jordan play. Like I barely got to see him play. I'm 30 years old. I really probably saw him play. Like I remember him more in a Wizards uniform than I do in a Bulls uniform.
I don't remember ever seeing him play in a Bulls uniform. Like I was born in '92. I'm assuming you were born in what 91, 91. Yeah, so like when we remember Wizards.
Yeah, like exactly. Like I don't, which sucks because it sounds like the guy was awesome. But like,
I heard things.
I've heard he's pretty good, but like I've never understood like because I'm a fan of Jordan, I'm a fan of North Carolina.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like so, like I never got that, but for some reason, college baseball, I actually did have a team that I liked, and it was Rice. Rice University was a team that I just enjoyed watching. Like I just remember watching. Like, and Oregon State was another one. That's when they had like Jacoby Ellsbury and Darwin Barney played there. Like that was a good run. Like when they were like a dominant team then. But like it's just shame that like it doesn't get as much exposure as it did. But I think it's starting to really take off.
I mean, I think that pitching ninja has a lot to do with that. Like his whole Twitter following, like he shows the emotion pitchers have, and his overlays with every pitch and like showing you how hard it actually is to hit a baseball. Like he's doing so like well for the sport, specifically college, because otherwise you wouldn't ever see these people. And now 100%. Like they're getting all kinds of play. They're all over social media now because of him. Like I'm thankful for what he's done.
Me too, and I think it's even bigger because you know every draft in every sport is big, but like baseball is like so many rounds. There's a lot of players that people are like, all right, like come on, like, but like with his exposure that he's giving the sport, like the college baseball, it's letting the common fan of the sport, like this, like the guy who just watches sometimes in the College World Series, like. It's giving them more exposure to these players and who their team might draft. Like we're actually invested and hoping that our team drafts some guys. You know what I mean, like a Jack Leiter or Kumar Rocker or something like that. You know what I mean? So it's like it's fun now. It's a better experience now than it ever has been watching college baseball.
Yeah, definitely, I agree. Like just going back to like Mike Trout, if they got more exposure back then on social media, there's no way Trout falls to the 25th or whatever the hell he was at.
Yeah, there's no way. I can't see why.
West Coast or Florida, like just casual fans, they want to know who he is.
Yeah.
That's one thing I do like about social media. It does give people a platform. Like that's a two-ended sword, but like for baseball, I think it's winding up being a really good thing. Specifically, like pitching ninja and other things out there like that are really emphasizing the high school and college players that are out there, and like it gives the casual fan like maybe a little more information than would ever had. So, like
I know that like a specific time that like I really started watching college baseball was when Zoom was at North Carolina.
Yeah,
because I knew him and I wanted to like watch his games, and I also remember Christian Walker. We played against him, so it's like he's one of those guys. Like, I was like, oh, like I'm rooting for him. Like, I didn't know him, but like,
but he's from the same area and all.
So like, and we heard nothing. We heard about him when we were in high school, and like we had like a scrimmage against them the one time. So it's like it's cool that he was there. You know, like we know, like we've been a part of like what he was a part of. So it's like it's almost like one of our own is going and becoming something. So it's like it was cool. But like Zoom was like awesome because like literally knew him, was like friends with him.
Yeah.
And like and he was out there fucking playing in College World Series. You know
at a high level too. Yeah,
absolutely.
He was a bench player, like he was a stud there.
Yeah, he was a starter. He was a starting second baseman for them. So it was like it was awesome watching him. And then he played. I think he played with Colin Moran too.
He did. Yeah, Colin Moran's his boy.
Yeah. So like, who's up plays for the Pirates? Like, you know what I mean? So it's like it's kind of crazy. Like that's where we're at with this. Like, and then now we have Brian O'Grady, who is a local kid who's playing for where's he at the Rays now? Is he with the Rays? Is he still with the Rays?
I think I don't remember him.
No, he's not with the Rays anymore.
Where'd he go?
Is he with the Rays? I know he's with the Reds. He was with the Reds, and then he might be with the Rays. He might know what he is with the Rays. Because and he's another one. He had pretty nice spring training this year. Yeah. So it was nice to see guys like that. But
Zoom too. Like he came back to the neighborhoods, and he's doing great things. You know, baseball academy, like
absolutely
all these kids that like would normally not have that voice and like that like respect around the tri-state area, and then expanding. Like they go on trips all the time to South Carolina and Florida, Texas, like wherever. Like, he's doing so good for community that like 10 years ago, our neighborhood just never had a chance.
No, we didn't have the AAU team like that. And you know, he started at Suggersville. He moved on to do his own thing at ZBA, and shout out to ZBA because they've been, like I said, like you were just saying, like it's awesome watching just two guys that like his dad's the man. So it's like
it's just great people.
Yeah, it's people that we know and people that we've known forever. So it's like it's good to see that. And it all started with, you know, North Catholic, and then they moved on to fucking North Carolina, and now they're all where they're at now. And
now they're bringing our neighborhoods like to an opportunity to go get those D1 scholarships, go get drafted at a high school. Like my buddy, one of my best friends, Billy Smith, his kid LB, the last couple of years turned into an absolute stud, and now he's a freshman on the varsity team at Newman, and that's hard to do. Like if he stays on that path, like he's going to be a problem.
Absolutely. I mean, Newman's already had, you know, they have what's his name, who played at Newman. Now he's with the Red Sox. What the fuck's his name? First baseman.
Fuck. Comment on this shit.
He was with Newman Goretti.
Drawing blanks.
Hold on. What the fuck's his name? Baseball. Josh Akame. There it is.
There you go.
Josh Akame, who went to Newman Goretti, and now he's in the Red Sox system right now.
Yeah.
So it's like it happens. It's there. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know. We got way off topic with this, but you know what? That's probably a good place to end it. Dan, thank you for coming on. I appreciate it. We're going to be seeing a lot of you this year, and you know, especially with our show on.
Yeah.
You know, we have our baseball show. We also, so anybody's listening to this, we also have our own. Me and Danny have a Phillies podcast called. Goddamn, what is it called?
The Diamond Club Podcast.
You have to say the Diamond Club Podcast. Yes, THE, the Diamond Club Podcast. Along with me having the Frozen Rope, Danny will be bouncing back and forth a lot with that and this all season long. Dan, once again, thank you for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. And again, remember, every Thursday night at 8 p.m., consistently, we will be here all season long, giving you all the information you need for baseball this season. Dan, thank you.
Yes, we
are out. Have a good one.
Yes, sir.